Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SHW F1 podcast. We are your underinformed American buddies talking F1. I'm Tom Delicati here with Dr. Brady King and John White.
Howdy.
Yo.
Dealing with the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix this weekend, we've got a lot to talk about. And no race coming up this weekend, so you're going to get a little extra dose of opinion. But we're going to talk about some fun things today, like who's number one at McLaren, what happened on lap one, and who's at fault. Got to go over our top five, bottom five. Maybe a little talk about who got it wrong this weekend and who got it right. And, of course, stick around because we got a rookie duty to hand out. But before we can do any of that, a tradition unlike any other. We have our 15-second race reviews. And this
Does it
week,
feel a little light now that the Masters is actually over and we're about to give these?
I'm sad. I have like so many weeks to wait to hear it for real again.
what if we just play it again?
Okay. We can do that.
Like, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah. A tradition unlike any other.
Except for that other time about 10 seconds ago.
Or the one last week.
Yeah.
All right. This week, we are going to start with John.
Okay.
Ready? Set?
Yep. Happy Easter, folks, where the eggs aren't the only thing with a tasty treat in them. That's right. If you look right over there, hiding between London and Kent, you'll find a papaya-colored egg treat with a nice little 1-2 in the driver standing in a hefty constructor's lead. Oh my, and don't forget that sky blue egg over there with the double points for Williams either. I hear that's really tasty and James made it himself. Stay away from the French eggs. I hear Yuki cracked one and it smells like stinky cheese.
James made it himself. I like that. All right. Brady, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
Yeah, thank you for calling Sultan Steakhouse. Would you like to make a reservation? Yes, and what was the name? Yuki Tsunoda? Wait, didn't the race just start? You, quote, finished early? Okay, well, do you have a date for tonight? Pierre Gasly? Your old fling? You, quote, ran into him today? Okay, whatever.
Your old fling. It was kind of nice seeing them in the garage with a headset on and not off in a yacht like some other drivers have done when they've wrecked out before.
All right. My 15-second race review. Here we go. Max is up to his old tricks, and he's the innocent schoolgirl who always is the victim. Oscar is showing his world-class potential. Hamilton still can't drive the Ferrari, and Lando was wearing Arabian goggles during qualifying and accidentally called himself a f***ing idiot.
I like that throwback to last week's episode.
Yep.
Shout out to our sponsors, Arabian Goggles from last week.
Shout out. Shout out. Hey, I got a quick poll question for you before we get too deep here. Do you watch the race on mute due to the commentary, or do you actually listen to them?
I only mute it when that Bernie girl starts talking because I can't understand a word she says anyway.
That's really, really brutal.
Yeah,
She's great. Like,
Yeah.
she's fantastic.
I'm sure she
Really
is
knows
if I
her
could
stuff.
understand her. You might as well put a Scotsman up there and have him tell me what's happening down on the track.
Don't you have heritage from that part of the world, John?
I don't, but my wife does.
Oh, okay. All right.
I married into it, Tom.
Got it. Does she listen to the show?
Yes, she does.
I don't mind Bernie. I don't mind Karoon, but I'm having a really hard time with Crofty.
No, he feels like he's turned it up a notch this year, right? There was like an annoying meter, and he went up like 1 degree.
I can see that. And he's also made a lot of mistakes. He called Williams Mercedes in the race and then was mislabeling drivers.
I feel like Brundle has to correct him half dozen times during the race, if not more.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad.
It'd be a lot better if Brundle smacked him every time that happened instead of just correcting. Like,
shot
hey,
him there,
Mercedes is looking good, and you hear, "Tsh."
It's Williams,
It's Williams.
you idiot.
Let's hook up electrodes to him.
Yeah.
It's like the opening scene of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's get into our first big topic. And I think, well, let's talk lap 1 first. So,
Okay.
lap 1, turn 1.
I want to hear John first.
Of course you do.
Because I feel like I could feel your emotions from however far away I'm actually from you.
In the words of the great Charles Leclerc, I believe
was
it was
that?
a Charles Leclerc. I believe it was a racing incident.
Yeah, you think so?
Here's what I think. I think that if you isolate this was probably more of a racing incident. However, it's the sheep who cried wolf. He's done it so many times before.
Do sheep cry wolf?
Somebody cries it.
Well, okay.
Yeah, sheep
Continue.
cry wolf, don't
You're
they?
doing great.
Is that not how the saying goes?
I'm pretty sure it's a boy who cried wolf. The boy
Yeah.
was watching over the sheep.
Yeah.
And he kept crying wolf and false alarm, false alarm, false alarm. And then a real wolf came.
And then the sheep cried wolf, and then
the sheep never
I
cried
don't
wolf.
think that happened. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Brundle's gonna smack you in a second.
it was the FIA who cried wolf. How about that? And yeah, I think if you would look at this on its own merit, it wasn't nearly as bad as people made it out to be. But he's got a history of deep diving and going late on the brakes, and so we automatically assume that, like, in accordance to Tom's 15-second race review, Max is up to his old schemes again. But I don't feel like this was as egregious as it has been in the past.
Brundle seemed to have a bit to say about the fact that a 5-second penalty is not good enough here. He wanted it to give the place back.
Honestly, I wish he would have just given the place back. I wish he would have done it in the beginning, and then he might have won the race. You don't think so? Tom's giving me a look. You guys don't have video. Tom disagrees with me.
We didn't see Piastri really push at the end, so I'm not sure. Like, Max was within 5 seconds. So in theory, if he didn't have a 5-second penalty, does he win the race? In theory. But Piastri also didn't have to push it at the end until Max got within a few seconds. So I'm not really sure that that's the only deciding factor. But Tom, I'm with you. I mean, and so what Brundle's really saying here is it's not just about like the corner itself. It's also what Max did coming out of the corner, right? So he wasn't really going to make the corner. Piastri really didn't leave him space. So racing incident up until that point. But then when he realizes he's not going to make the corner, he's just like, see you later, Leroy Jenkins, foot off the brake, and he just takes off. And then, okay, now you've gained an advantage. You've got to give that back. And he didn't, and then they penalized him for it. I'm kind of with Brundle in this case, that 5 seconds over the course of a race, especially when it happens on lap 1, probably doesn't really matter. And he either needed to give the place back or it needed to be bigger, probably a 10-second penalty.
The reason I think Max doesn't win that race, and the reason I don't think Oscar cared about trying to pass him on track, is because when you're leading, you have the clean air and you can push. And Oscar didn't care. He just knew he needed to stay within 5 seconds of Max, or even like 3. He just needed to stay within 3 seconds of Max. And he stayed within 1.5 the entire stint.
Yep.
The only way Max wins that race is if he stays in first place, if he has track position. And I don't even know if he wins it at that. But simply the fact that these cars can't follow each other, I tend to agree with you. If he stays in first place, there's a high probability of him winning. But even with the 5-second penalty, like, I don't know. I think Oscar would have passed him. I think they just had the better car.
They definitely had the better car. McLaren has a better car than Red Bull, for sure.
So Piastri another great weekend for him. And we were going to talk about this too. Is there a number one at McLaren? I know they talk about they have 2 number 1 drivers. And last week I was starting to sing the song of Smart Money's on Oscar this year, and then Lando just continues to do bonehead stuff, whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday. He's got the pace. On Sunday, he crushed that race, but he started in 10th.
That's a bad Q3.
Too big of a hill to climb. And not only that, but like the dumb stuff where he spent 2 laps tussling with Hamilton making it harder for him. Like, he wasted so much time over those 2 laps, and it's just like, how long have you been racing? Like, you should know this stuff at this point.
Yeah, it's tough now for me to look at Lando as the favorite, but things change so fast. It's such a long season, and Lando is so fast. And there have been times when I saw Piastri come out of a weekend where I thought, okay, he's fantastic, and he's just gonna, he's gonna dominate this next weekend or whatever. And then he ends up placing like 12th. Like, he has those like weeks where he just can't put it together. Last year, I don't know this year. I don't know, but we could be singing a different tune if like 2 weeks from now suddenly Lando wins and Piastri comes in like 7th, and then we're all like, well, Lando's back. So,
well, I feel like the expectations for them are different. Nobody expects Oscar to put together these weekends that he has. It's been enjoyable to watch, and I think he's proving that he should have a little more expectation on him. Everybody still just kind of looks at it like it's his 3rd year. Like, he's okay.
Well, even Max was saying that at one of the end of the press conferences when they were asking about Oscar and the race and how he's doing. And Max was like, hey, you got to remember, like, this is his 3rd year. The guy is really putting together a string of great races. He's racing smart. He's racing like he's done this for a lot longer than he has. It was actually kind of nice to hear Max sing someone's praises, because had it been Lewis, obviously he wouldn't have said anything good. And neither would I. But to sing the praises of Oscar and what he's been putting together, I think is pretty cool. And I do believe that he will quickly be the number 1. I mean, he's already ahead in points by 10.
He's got 3 wins this year already out of 5 races.
Yeah.
is that good?
It is pretty good. I was looking at the numbers and I was like, well, you can't just go on total points, right? There's only 10 points of differentiation. So I went through from Australia to Saudi, and I did qualifying and race results and kind of came up with my own little point system. So obviously full points for race results and then half points for qualifying position. So if you qualified first, you got 12.5 points, half of what you would normally do. Want to know who's in the lead?
I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah. Good night.
You've got some qualifying in 3rd, some qualifying in 9th, some 1st, some 3. It's actually fairly close, but Piastri's got 142.5 points. Norris has 121.5. Yeah. Like, in every metric that I could look at, Oscar's beating Lando right now.
He's having a better season so far. And I mean, if you think about just the poor mistake or circumstance in Australia, and Oscar's comfortably leading this championship by more than 10 points.
Yep.
Lando's
Blame
just
it on the rain.
Too freaking, I don't know, emotional? I don't know.
He did seem very sad this week, right?
I think he gave it his all on Sunday, but yeah, I would be pissed off on Saturday, frustrated to start Sunday.
Would he gained as many positions as he did going from what he started at 10th and finish at 4th if Yuki and Gasly wouldn't have wrecked out, because they qualified ahead of him. And I believe at the time of the accident, was Lando still behind them? And he gained
it was the first
at least
lap.
2
It was
positions.
first lap.
Yeah, first lap. So I mean, he gained 2 positions off the mark there.
Yeah.
I didn't
The
watch
question
the
is whether he'd
start.
fight.
I wasn't specifically watching Lando off the start. I'll have to go back and do that, because I do think that's interesting. Like, was he already making the move to pass some people into turn 1 or turn 2 whenever that incident happened?
Yeah, I wasn't really focused on exactly what he was doing, but I will say that, I mean, he has the pace to just sort of blow past Gasly and Yuki if he really needed to, but then again, he tangled with Lewis for a while, so I mean, maybe if he gets, like, if somehow Yuki suddenly becomes driver of the year and holds him back for a little while, then maybe. I don't see Yuki or Gasly doing that. I don't think they're as wily as Lewis is, but it's 2 more cars he's got to pass for sure.
Yeah. But he had no problem clearing both Mercedes and Hamilton. But to your point, it's a long season. There's a lot that can change, a lot that can happen. I just think up to this point, this has been a real frustrating year, not just from a driver perspective. I actually think it's been a wonderful year for the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this has been fantastic. There have been 2 weekends out of 5 where Haas has scored double points. Yep. Another weekend where Williams gets double points. No, 2 weekends where the Williams got double points because of the disqualifications.
Yep. That is correct.
You've got Sauber already on the board with like a 7th place finish. Like, it's been very interesting in the midfield.
Well, I was going to say clear for the midfield. Maybe Sauber, I still want to put them at the bottom because the bottom's still kind of stinky. Sauber, Sauber still struggles. But I mean, the midfield is, I mean, the tussles are great. Those last few points positions have been some great racing. Watching, was it, how many laps were they dueling there where it was like the Williams and was it Hadjar was catching to him?
Yeah,
There was
it
like a
was
good
Hadjar.
10 lap battle going on there. And that was fantastic.
I'm not discounting the fact that this year is an entire stinker. I think we've had some poor conditions. The rain that we had early in the season was good, but China's a real specific circuit. Suzuka should have been way better than it was, but it
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, for some reason just sucked. This was probably the best race so far. I don't know. Bahrain,
Mm.
maybe. But
Yeah.
you've only had a couple of really good track potentials, and everything's been a letdown. It's like we have these high hopes, and everything's been a letdown so far. I don't know what it's going to take to have something meet our expectations as fans. It's not going to be Miami. I'll tell you that.
No.
No.
It's going to possibly be Imola. That's after Miami, but then you go to Monaco after that, and it's not going to be Monaco.
I feel like now I'm going to start looking for what tires they're bringing a lot more because, so Tom, me and you talked about this offline a little bit, but with the cars not being able to follow as close, and with the dirty air, the way the cars are set up, the racing is just worse. So to get overtakes, to get strategy, you've got to make the teams have to think. And the only way to make them think is to make them put like different tires on and run different strategies. But when you bring the harder sets of tires, they're just going to run mediums to hards and try and do a one stop. So, John, we hadn't had a chance to talk about this, but I think it was really telling when we saw Yuki and Pierre crash in turn one or in lap one, I'm sorry. And then several teams dove into the pits and immediately put hard tires on and we're going to try and go the entire race. Like they figured I can have one set of tires go the whole time.
Yeah.
And when you take all the strategy out of it and the cars can't they can't battle and get close, then what are we watching? So every time now I see like teams saying, hey, we're probably going to run mediums to hards, probably not going to be a very exciting race.
Should they make it where you need to do at least one soft set?
That might be something they have to do if it gets really, really boring. I mean, the question is what happens in the next set of regulations. Like, how do you make I want the cars to battle. I don't want it to be a tire thing. But if the only way that we can get some racing right now is tires, then sure, fine. Make them run on pizza cutters for all I care.
You guys have both mentioned this a couple of times, and for us underinformed, myself included, and probably the majority of our audience, when you talk about cars not being able to race as closely due to the air, like what are we referencing here? What's different now than maybe it was 2 seasons ago, where that necessarily we didn't hear that being brought up as much?
So the cars are one of the main things that they were trying to do with the ground effect era is to clean up the air coming off the back of the car so that the car, you didn't lose nearly as much downforce on the car when you were trying to get close. The problem is that the teams don't want to do that. They obviously want to kick as much dirty air off the car as they possibly can because they don't want anybody following them. And they found a way to stay within the regulations this year while like dirtying up the air. And so the cars that are coming behind, they're losing all of their downforce in the corners, which is, for these cars, they need a ton of downforce. They need the ground effect to work in order for the car to stick to the track, especially in the corners. They took all the downforce away from the wings, and it's all based on the air going under the car. And when the air gets really dirty, the car won't stick, and therefore they can't go around the corner as tightly, and they can't get as close to the car in front of them. So when the car in front is kicking off dirty air, you just can't get as close.
Okay, that makes sense. So when we say dirty air, we're not referencing like the air's too hot or there's
Turbulent air.
all the turbulent air coming off the car in front
that keeps the car from being able to have the ground effects grab the air that should be in there and force the car down. Instead, it's kind of floating on nothing.
It's a double dose in this case too, because when you have that situation, then you're scrubbing the tires more so you have less downforce, so your tires tend to slide, and as the tires tend to slide more, you burn up the rubber. So now in order for you to pass, not only are you using up the battery, but you're using up a ton more tire trying to pass the guy in front. So every time you take a risk and go after a guy, that's just one less lap that you can do. And we're already trying to stretch our tires for these huge lengths of the race. So the way the cars are set up, it's just like you're incentivized to not try to go after them unless you know you're going to get past them.
Okay. That makes sense. Thanks, Dr. King, for that
Right?
bit of trivia.
I did my
I
homework.
appreciate it. Yeah, you did.
All right, guys, I'm done. See you later.
This is educational.
That's right. This guy knows what's going on.
Gosh, we've been talking a long time. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and talk about something else. Do we have a word from our sponsor this week?
We do. Today's sponsor is the newly launched FIA coin. Stock trading have you down? Don't have the extra $75 to buy a share of Formula One? We've got you covered. Invest in the newly launched FIA coin. This coin not only has MBS's lovely face as its logo, but it will also track through technology partners not named because of a very, very tightly bound NDA every bad thing you say about it and fine you. That's right. You get to determine the value. Talk bad, the value goes down. Swear, it goes down even more. Miss LL Cool J in Miami, or 5 seconds late to the worst marching band playing the Saudi national anthem. That's right. The value drops again. Shake its hand, give it a smile, and sing its praises, and watch it rise. Buy today on your local trading platform. FIA Coin, the coin of your future.
Oh my God.
So it really does have MBS's face on it? That's pretty cool.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Well, like what happens when we get a new president of the FIA? This is like, you can't put the Pope's face on anything. We just had a Pope die. We're going to get a new Pope.
Well, much like the Haktua coin, I believe this one is solidified in
Good Lord.
in the meme in which it was created, and so he will forever live on as the
He will
FIA
be the
coin
face of the
logo.
FIA
coin.
coin.
Got it.
All right,
That
I
is
get it.
true. Yeah.
Totally get it.
So quick Aston Martin thing. Officially, Lance Stroll is now the worst qualifier of all time in F1.
Oh, God.
He has been knocked out of the most Q1s of any driver.
Oh, no. Not a list you want to be on top.
Yeah, no.
What sort of tart remark did he have for that?
I wonder if they even interviewed him. I mean, like, hey, how does it feel to break records? What do you mean there? Well, you're the worst of all time.
Well, that's what happens when your daddy owns the team.
Right?
So real quick, let's cover our top 5, bottom 5. I am a little heartbroken. I was heartbroken on lap 1. I was excited, and then I was heartbroken because I saw 2 cars crash,
Yeah, you were probably really excited right there, right?
and then I saw Yuki drive away from it.
Yep.
I'm like, is he going to make it all the way? And then sure enough, son of a gun drives himself back to the pits and retires the car.
Cheryl looked right over me and she's like, "You guys talked about this, like,
Oh my
this
gosh.
exact
We
situation."
sure did.
I was so pissed.
We
For
willed
those
into
that might not
existence.
remember last week's episode, refresh them, Tom.
My 3-pointer was at least 2 drivers will crash out of the race, and the stipulation was they could not drive themselves back to the pit and retire. They had to be removed from the track.
We
That's
needed
right.
some cranes, people. Some cranes.
I was
And we
so
only had
frustrated.
a crane.
Yeah.
Yuki
But-
looked over, saw Tom, and was like, "See ya."
Mhm.
Not today.
Yeah.
Not today.
Flipped me the bird on his way. Brady, your 3-pointer was Antonelli was going to outscore Leclerc by 3 or more points.
This did not happen.
Yep. And John let us all know that he got his 3-pointer with the Oscar Piastri win. So back-to-back 3-pointers for John.
Yep.
It's the only thing I got going for me right now, fellas.
John, you have a 4-point lead.
It's pretty good.
37 points. I'm at 33. Brady's at 32. No picks this week, so we'll catch you up next week when we go to Miami. So, yeah, good weekend for John. Another good weekend for John. I got the most picks right, but that didn't matter because my 3-pointer didn't hit.
Boy, that bottom 5 was all kinds of wonky. It's been impossible to pick the bottom 5 here lately because they just want to play musical chairs on who's the worst every weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, we get like 2 DNFs. You get one person down there that you didn't expect, and that leaves like maybe one of your picks to hit, right? You
Mhm.
really just got to have to like throw 5 flyers out there and hope to get lucky.
Every one of us got 4 out of the top 5 right.
Yeah.
Just all different.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because we don't know who's going to be good. Is it going to be Ferrari or is it going to be Mercedes that week?
Well, you both missed on Kimi Antonelli, and I missed on Lewis Hamilton. So that's where we stack up right now. So real quick, before we wrap this up and hand out our rookie duty, we can't forget about that. Who got it right and who got it wrong this weekend?
Who got it right? You'll probably guess from my 15-second race review. Williams. Another fantastic weekend. I say fantastic just because we haven't seen Williams do this well since like 1984, I believe, before I started watching.
When you were just a young pup.
I was just a wee lad for all of us celebrating April birthdays, all 3 of us actually.
Yeah. Happy
Brady.
birthday.
Brady's got a birthday coming up.
I do.
Yeah, but I mean, qualifying looked great for them. When you're in a Williams and you can out-qualify Hamilton in a Ferrari, I think not a bad weekend, not a bad way to start. Now, you ended up losing the position, but still, Sainz finishing 8th, I think is fantastic. You've got his teammate not too terribly far behind him in 9th. Whatever it is that they're doing in Williams, obviously they don't have a super quick car, but it's pretty quick on the straights. At least we saw that from the start. Just didn't know how to turn very well. Good strategy. It doesn't. That thing cannot turn at all. But it's quick when it's
It should
straight.
learn. Somebody
Yeah.
should teach it how to turn.
Someone, I think Carlos is trying, but he's talking to it in Spanish and it only speaks proper English, so it's
Good
not
Lord.
listening very well.
Carlos was well, and Williams. Both of them were a little. They were a little saucy on the radio this weekend. I thought Albon had his little quip about like, they wanted him to watch out for the car in front of him and the dirty air and all that stuff. He's like, "Don't you realize there's a car right behind me?"
And he's like, "There's
Are we
one
not looking at
behind
that?
me."
He's been a little saucy the last couple of weeks,
Yeah.
right?
Do we
has
not
had
know
some
that's happening?
radio.
Yeah.
And then Sainz, I don't think he was like saucy about it, but he was, I can't remember exactly his phrasing, but he basically said, "Are you guys serious? Like, Hadjar on the mediums is not going to pass us," or whatever he was on. They're like, "We have the pace to drive away," and they're like, "Keep Albon in your DRS, and then you guys use your pace." And he's
Yep.
like, "Okay."
Yeah. It was good teamwork, though.
Yeah, I mean, they still wind up with an 8th and a 9th place. That was a big haul for them this weekend.
Great haul for them. Way to go, Vals.
Who got it wrong?
Who got it wrong? How about Mercedes? I mean,
Yeah.
they still finished pretty well, but
Yeah,
like,
they finished 5th and 6th.
yeah. So how do I say that they got it wrong? Well, I mean, the car looks fast, but then somehow just when they got into the race, they just didn't do anything. Like the car seemed to they seem to really be fighting it, right? The whole race. George talking about, the tire's not working, the car just not turning. It just seemed like we were watching them sort of solidly pass Ferrari, and then this week they took a step back. So by definition, they got it wrong. They're going to have to figure something out so that they don't keep moving in that direction.
What do you think it had most to do with?
That's tough. I don't know, because you would think that, again, with everybody on the same tire strategy, there was like little left to guess, right? Just put the right tires on the car, get them out there at the right time, whatever, and you were fine. But I don't know if it was just like they were in the wrong spots and they were like too much dirty air or whatever it was, but I don't know. I can't really figure out exactly why the car was not working. I mean, it's why I picked Antonelli to pass Leclerc this week, is I thought that they looked like they just had a better car than Ferrari. But now I don't know. I really don't. Maybe it's a little bit closer than I thought.
They were the only team on the grid to have both drivers lose position.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that tells me it was probably more strategy than anything else, right?
Well, let me throw a wrench at that.
Please do.
And maybe this is just more of a holdover from what I remember hearing about last year. Do you think that some of it could have to do with the track conditions? What I mean by that is like weather, the climate, the humidity, the heat, whatever it is. Do Mercedes just like cooler tracks, or do they don't perform well at warmer tracks? You know what I'm trying to say?
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
That's
It
going to be a
could
good
be.
question. I mean, let's see what happens, I guess, when they come to Miami, and then
Yeah.
maybe
I
we'll
mean,
know.
it's hard to say because like Bahrain was, Russell did very well.
Yep.
Antonelli did not, but Russell finished second in Bahrain. But that was, I think, more of a dry heat than Saudi Arabia. I don't know. They're pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
It can't be that different, right? From a
This is tough. I'm wondering if they just got the wing set up bad, right? Like, Jeddah is kind of a weird track in that, like, it's extremely fast, but it also does have 27 corners or whatever. So, I'm just wondering if they had the car set up more for qualifying, and then come race time, they were a little too loose, and so they used up too much of their tires, and that just meant that they had to conserve because they were trying to again stretch it for a one stop.
well, based on your explanation of dirty air, that sounds like what I'm going to go with because it sounds better than what I was thinking. So,
It sounds intelligent.
yes, it does. I don't know if
Doesn't
you're
mean
right,
It's intelligent. It just
but it
sounds
sounds
intelligent.
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Finally, as we wrap up this episode, we've got a rookie duty award. So who
Yeah.
was the dude? Who was a total dude this weekend
Total dude.
as a rookie?
Who are we gonna let pick? Do we have to like go 1, 2, 3 shoot and everybody just say?
Maybe.
Okay.
I do have an honorable mention.
Okay.
Who made the best rookie move this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Yuki Tsunoda.
I don't think that's how the game is played.
I mean, that was a total rookie move.
that was a pretty duty move.
It was a duty move.
Yeah.
He was trying to be a dude there.
Yeah.
Little
I
I
will action.
digress. I digress. Go ahead.
All right. Well, John, do you have a duty nomination?
Gaining 4 spots in the Racing Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Hajar.
I second your nomination.
I third. So we made
Look
it
at
easy
that.
this
We've
week.
got a
right?
unanimous
We've got a
duty
unanimous
this week.
duty.
Hajar,
big duty.
Please meet us at Miami to take your duty.
Congratulations to Isaac
I will be
Hajar.
waiting behind door number 2 for you.
It'll be in a little plastic bag.
The dude of the weekend was Isaac Hajar. Congratulations.
You know, he looks solid this week, right? And I think he needed a little bit of that too. There's a couple of guys out there that I think really need a solid week. Hajar was one of them. Doohan is another one.
Lawson
Doohan's
needs
not
one
getting
real
it.
bad, and
Lawson needs one going forward.
Oh,
Yes,
gosh.
and I'm pulling for him because I really don't like the whole situation here, but I'm glad that at least somebody out there, it wasn't just like all the rookies fell off, right? So Hajar got his weekend. Who's next, right? Hopefully it's Lawson or maybe Doohan.
Well, poor Doohan and Lawson both gained nor lost 0 positions over the race. Doohan started 17th, finished 17th. Lawson started 12th, finished 12th.
Our dark horse here for the duty at any point this year has got to be Bortoletto. Like he's going to struggle to win a duty.
Yeah, that car is not good.
He gained 2 spots.
I mean,
That's
because of
because
a
2 cars
DNF.
crashed.
yeah, hold on. Let me do the math here. How many cars crashed? Oh, right. Yeah.
Just saying, let the numbers speak. Let the numbers
Yeah.
speak.
Let the data tell the story.
He's the guy who went home and
Data
told his
tells
parents,
us.
they're like, "How'd you do today?" And he's like, "I gained 2 spots." And they're like, "That's really good, son. Good job."
Oh. Good job, Bort.
Hey, good job,
Bort.
Bort. I got this little duty trophy for it.
Poor guy.
I was going to save this for next week. So before we wrap up, I was going to save this for next week, but I do have a little teaser to give you guys.
Yeah.
Ooh,
For
tease me.
Miami.
Not before Miami. So this is the week after Miami.
Mm-hmm.
The North America's largest immersive F1 fan experience debuts in Las Vegas at the Grand Prix Plaza on May 2nd. And guess who's going to Las Vegas the week after that?
Is
Really?
it Bort?
I will commit to you to give you a firsthand, thorough review
I love
of the immersive F1 fan experience. I will do this for you and for every listener out there.
Where is this at? So is it part of their?
It's actually at
It's at
that
the
area?
HQ.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually at
okay.
the F1 headquarters.
I'm jealous, Tom. It wasn't
Yeah, I
open
am.
whenever I was in Vegas a few weeks back. So enjoy yourself.
I will be there 4 days after it opens,
That seems awesome.
and I will
Well.
provide you with my thorough review when we talk after that.
I'm looking forward to it.
Preview it is. I love it.
And with that, I think we should call it a night.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's been a long one.
Soundboard working?
I doubt it. Nope, it's broken.
Hey, yo.
Okay.
Well,
Somebody not carrying their weight this week.
Oh, hey.
Like Mercedes
Wait on the
wing, it
cue.
comes back at the last minute.